Well, Julianne Moore once again proves she's my favorite actress working today. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Movie Emporium's movie review of the Apple TV Plus original movie, Echo Valley. This movie is directed by Michael Pearce. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Julianne Moore stars in this kind of thriller in a lot of respects about a woman named Kate who runs a horse farm that has recently lost her wife to a sad situation, and she has a daughter played by Sweeney, who is a drug addict, who is a very dysfunctional woman, and in the process of everything, she's constantly asking for money. She's constantly doing things she shouldn't be. Well, one night, her daughter, Julianne Moore's daughter in this movie, comes home. She has blood, and her boyfriend apparently has been killed. She owes money to this character played by, of course, Domnhall Gleeson. And it becomes a movie about a woman who's dealing with grief, having to deal with a daughter who is very much troubled, and how far is she willing to go to protect her daughter, as well as protect who she is and the kind of the nature of who and what she is when it comes to the grief of losing a loved one in a lot of respects. So like a lot of these movies, Echo Valley was not a movie I'd heard of before, to be fairly honest, which is kind of strange because Julianne Moore is one of my favorite actresses. Sweeney is a pretty popular actress at this point. Gleeson, this has MacLachlan in it. Fiona is in this movie. It has a great cast. But once again, it's one of those movies that just kind of fell by the wayside when it comes to like stuff I was going to be really interested in, just because I didn't know it was coming out. But I really like the cast. Michael Pearce did a movie that I actually reviewed a few years ago called Encounter, which had Riz Ahmed in it. And at least from what I saw from the trailer, it looked like it was going to be a pretty cool thriller with some really interesting ideas. Once again, Sweeney is playing a drug-addled, troubled, teenager / young woman. And Julianne Moore, once again, is always good in everything she does. Movie notwithstanding and stuff like that. So there you go. So after watching this hour and 44-minute movie and finally kind of getting my thoughts about it because I needed a couple minutes to think about it, for my honest review of Echo Valley, I think it's a very well put together, very interesting movie from an actor level. I think Julianne Moore is really good in this movie, as she always is. I think she brings a lot of, pain and suffering, which is what she's very, very good at. If you ever seen like Magnolia or even Boogie Nights or Shortcuts or pretty much anything she's ever done, she's very good at being like a damaged individual. And it's her persona. Once again, she's also played, comedic roles and stuff like that. But she's very good at this particular type of role, and I think she does a really nice job here. I think Sweeney does the best she can with what she is given, which is not really a lot, to be fairly honest, because she has to be kind of that thorn in Julianne Moore's character's side. Domhnall Gleeson, I think, is a little over top and silly in this movie, and I don't think he's very good in this movie. MacLachlan is not in this movie very much, but Fiona is really good in this movie. I think she works well with Julianne Moore's character because she plays her friend. She plays kind of the guiding light to Julianne Moore's character as the movie moves along. But what sets this movie back and what makes it really kind of a really difficult movie to watch is the nature of what this movie is doing and how it's moving, because there are twists and turns in this movie which get more bonkers and more unrealistic as they move along. And it gets to a point at the end of this movie where it reveals its cards, and I kind of completely fell off the wayside of it. I don't think the story is very good. I think it's more heavily leaned on the actors who have to lift up a script that's just not well put together. And it's just a very disturbing, very sad, depressing movie with not a lot of upside, to be fairly honest. It's dealing with a woman who lost her wife in a tragic accident. She's dealing with that scenario. So it's, the basis of putting that story into its flux of what it's trying to tell to the audience is very atypical in these types of stories. And then you add in the very damaged, very troubled daughter or son, and they make this mistake that causes all this ripple effects. And I don't know. I just don't find this movie to be at all satisfying, to be fairly honest. I think it leads some really chaotic, messy stuff. I think when Gleeson's character comes in, it really falls into goofy territory, and I didn't find this movie that would be that very energetic when it came to that. I think the movie setting is really cool looking. I think it's a very beautiful looking movie. I think the horse farm is very aesthetically pleasing. I think when you're moving into like the thriller, the very dark and disturbing territory, because this leads into the very dark and disturbing like Cape Fear or Hand in the Rocks the Cradle. Not saying that these movies are that Echo Valley is that. I'm just saying like the way it makes you feel, the griminess, the dirtiness of what this movie is trying to do, and it lets characters do things that are so kind of over the top and silly that you're just like, yeah, whatever. I guess, sure, okay. I'm not gonna spoil exactly what happens, but I think you'll see as it moves along. You may enjoy it. I mean, I honestly don't know, but I think you'll see when it moves along. You're just like, this is little going a little too much, a little too over the top, and a little too like kind of off the cliff, and it doesn't really need to do that. You know, dealing with Julianne Moore's character Kate Grief is just enough to satisfy what this movie is trying to say about humanity and about, you know, mothers protecting their kids and how far they're willing to go. It's not a bad movie, but it's a very difficult movie to watch for even for an hour and 44 minutes. It's just like, I need to like go take a shower after watching this movie, to be fairly honest. I think that's just kind of where I lie. So overall, I'm not a huge fan of this movie. I think the acting is pretty great when it comes to like Julianne Moore or Fiona Shaw. I think the other actors are a little underused and a little kind of like stereotypical when it comes to these types of stories. So if you're into that, that's fine. I'm not going to, you know, discount you for for liking it and stuff like that. I'm just saying, for me personally, I think I was really disappointed in a movie that has some great actors and from a director that I think his last movie was okay. I mean, it wasn't that bad. So I don't know. It's just kind of a mediocre movie, to be fairly honest. That's how I stand. So that's my take on Echo Valley, which is on Apple TV Plus. And yeah, so I thank you so much for watching. So comment below. Did you see this movie? Are you looking forward to seeing this movie? Let me know why. So there you go. What you think about these actors in this movie, I guess you could say. But with that said, thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see on this channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome. Hit that like button. As always, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out, guys.